You know, see the agenda.
Yep.
Okay, did everybody read through the minutes for last month? Did anybody have any questions, any comments? If not, can I get a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Jeff. You gonna get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All approve, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, so the minutes have been approved. I changed the reports up a little bit because we are going to be talking about the budget today. So I left you down at the bottom, Nate, because, well, like I said, we're going to be talking about the budget. So,
Perfect.
yeah, I think that would be best. So Rob, you got anything for scholarships and grants?
Well, I think it's time to distribute the money. So, that's it,
Okay.
right?
Nope, that sounds good. Anybody got any questions for Rob?
Yeah, so I know I've been lagging, ever since we issued all the responses and stuff. I've been lagging a little bit. I've had some communications with some of the awardees, especially the teachers, and invited myself to be the point of contact if they got questions and organizational type stuff. But yeah, probably Nate and I should get together and and make sure that we have the right addresses and get those funds distributed before school's out of session.
Rob, you were fading a little bit at the beginning there. Can you kind of repeat that? I mean, at the very end, you were sounding pretty good, but at the beginning there, it was really hard to make out what you were saying.
Yeah, of course. I apologize. I got a new setup and I forgot that I have to open my laptop to use the mic. Yeah, I said ever since we awarded the scholarships and grants, and I wrote up the summaries and all that. I've been lagging a little bit, but I got information from the teachers about the appropriate addresses and things like that to use for the distribution. And I think Nate and I should get together and make that happen maybe next week, before school's out of session and everything is, all business is still flowing properly.
That sounds good for sure. Nate, are you good with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, from the students, we'll just need their student ID. And then I think from doing it last year, you have contacts at both the universities.
Yeah, I think we should be good on the university side. For the teacher side, I've asked them, who to make the check out to. I think we'd like to distribute it to the school and then have the school give it to them. And I got follow-up from all that. So I'll pull it together and I'll get together with you early in the week and hopefully we can arrange something.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
Cool. Anything else, Rob?
I think that's it.
All right. Mike Edom.
Hey, yeah, I don't have a ton to discuss. I did touch base with Alicia about creating a summary report for social media for the year, and she was on board with that. And we should have the report finalized by next month's meeting.
Excellent.
And Mike, I'll send over the results for the election to her and you, so we can get that posted tomorrow. So. Okay. Yeah. So what about the salary survey? When does that occur? Or is that something that's continuing to be ongoing? I know it was kind of well, I think it was part of Jeff's position when he was membership development coordinator and then president, or am I incorrect?
Well, it was more Steven, and then there was
Right.
there was a handful of us that were helping out. I think we did that one last year.
2 years ago.
I think, yeah, 2 years ago. So probably within the next year or so, I would imagine. I think we had talked about doing one every 3 or 4 years. So
Okay, so that's something I should probably keep on the radar for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Or feel free to get started on it, if you got any ideas or anything for it. I mean, but yeah, definitely keep it on the radar.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, Edom, this is Michelle. I did get the report from Alicia on the social media analytics.
Okay.
So I'll get that sent out to you so you can see it.
Okay. Awesome.
I'd still like, we'll put that on the agenda for next week or next month, though, to go over that. I just want to comment on social media with the elections. I thought that was pretty cool what I was seeing out there when it was like meet the candidate and you had a certain person each time. And
yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
really,
she did a good job.
yeah, I agree. I thought that was really nicely done. Anything else, Mike?
Nope. Well, how was the meetup in Missoula? Rob, were you able to make it?
Unfortunately, I had to travel to Salt Lake on those exact days. So, from the message I read from Anna, it sounds like it was a pretty good turnout, and it seemed successful. But yeah, I was sad not to be able to make it.
Yeah, there was no way I was going to be able to make that trip. Although I wanted to. And then she did mention that she was going to put some stuff on Facebook, and I wasn't able to see any of that. But yeah, I would be interested to see some pictures on that. But yeah, it sounded like a good turnout.
Yeah, guys, just really quick too. Just a reminder, I know historically we've talked about, I think at a retreat, about maybe trying to obtain some sort of just a small report, from those. I think would be really helpful for us as a board, just to see what the turnout was, and just any interesting discussions and things like that. It doesn't have to be too elaborate, but I think it would be beneficial for the board to just hear a little bit about it.
No, I agree with that, because then that way, since we're sponsoring it, we should have at least some kind of say on it. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, it was at our January meeting. And I do have a draft of essentially it came down to the whole, like, kind of redoing the whole request for assistance policy. I can certainly get that draft done before next month's meeting, and you guys can take with it and run with it. So
Cool.
Well, yeah, thanks, Jeff. All right. Anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Okay. Eric, welcome back.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I don't really have any updates. We have our wrap-up meeting got moved to tomorrow, so I think we'll be discussing quite a bit then. Just as want to thank everyone here that everyone here helped out. And I thought it was a great conference. I'm sorry I bailed in the last few hours for the trip, but everything went really well.
Yeah, you got to start making some phone calls to Billings now.
Yep. Yeah, it's time to start looking at that. I am looking forward to having a bit more of an idea of the timeline and how things go, and working on it this year. But it'd be nice to have that knowledge going in.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, I guess Michelle, is there anything to add to post-conference things that right now that in advance of tomorrow's wrap up, or?
No, thank you all for being flexible and being willing to move that meeting. No, I think I sent you guys all the survey results, and then Nate, I just sent you the final grant tree invoice today. I don't know if you saw it yet.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but after plugging everything into the budget, still waiting for some MSU money to come through and a few other outstanding. I think I still have to get the Montana State Library money, but if we calculate that all in, I still think we're showing a bottom line of upwards of 20,000 profit. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's
I know.
awesome.
So Nate, are you still on?
Am I still on? Yes.
You are still there. Okay, good. I just you couldn't see you. I was wondering if maybe I could schedule a call with you just so we can compare our numbers. I just want to make sure, because I don't have access to your bank account. I just want to make sure that what I have documented in Wild Apricot and AffiniPay is actually matching what you have in the bank account.
Okay.
So I just think it might be worth doing that to make sure we're close on our numbers.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so I'll just send you an email and maybe we can get together next week or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Eric?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Jason.
Yeah, like Eric, I don't have much to report at all. Thought it was a great conference. Assuming Tessa, is going to take over, I'll be sure that I share all the information and stuff that I have available for her for future workshop ideas and stuff like that. So, and the spreadsheets and stuff that we've maintained over the past. But yeah, we just have the follow-up tomorrow afternoon, and but overall it seems like, with those survey results, people had a good time, and the workshops and everything went well. So some good comments there. Yeah,
Okay.
that's about it.
Cool. I don't think Megan's online. Are you here, Megan? Say no. Nope. Okay. Eric, any update on Emiliac?
Well, let's see. Last time we met was at the conference. That's when they rolled out, they approved all the grants and things like that. And you were at that. We were supposed to meet, I think it was last week, or maybe it's this week. Let me see my calendar. I think we were supposed to be meeting this Thursday, but that was canceled. We're not going to be meeting. Our last meeting won't be till June, I guess now. So,
yeah, June 23rd.
Yeah, and of course, I think all of you are aware that was noted that with the what is it, the red tape initiative, they've reduced the number of folks that will be serving on the MLAC, or what it's called now, MGAC, or whatever they're going to call it, the Montana Geospatial something committee. And so I think they're going to be opening that up. It's all governor appointed, so people will have to be submitting their letters of interest to be on it. I haven't decided if I'm going to resubmit or not. I'm on the fence. Maybe opening up, give another chance for someone else. They moved me in under that professional GIS line of things, which I accepted it, but I didn't feel that was the appropriate place for me back when they moved me. So I may try again. I may put my name in for local government, but I may not. We'll see. We'll see how the wind blows as the time approaches. So
So is the June meeting gonna still have the 20-some members then?
I believe so. There's been, as far as I know, there's been no action on appointing new people yet, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't take effect until July anyway there, Mike, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Is the June meeting when we need to have a board member present to the group on what's going on with Magip?
I think
Or is
Mike usually.
Yeah,
does that.
no, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, whenever they have the meeting, which is June 23rd so far, yeah, one of us will give a report on what's happening here at the board. I can do it again. Jeff, if you're up for it, or I can do it again. Like I said, I can do it. Every one of their meetings, they usually have it quarterly, but they're kind of on and off. But one of their meetings, they do request us to give an update, so.
all right, we'll work it out.
Yep. Anything else, Eric? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Nope, nothing else. I'm set. Thanks.
Thank you. Michelle, anything with our administration?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add other than I did want to mention that report from Alicia, that I have that, and I'll circulate that out to all of you, as well as I'll go ahead and send you the draft budget analysis for the conference that I've put together. But I still want to go over it with Nate just to make sure our numbers are close.
No, absolutely. Okay, I don't think Andrew's on. If anybody did not see emails, we have anointed Andrew to be the new local government SIG lead. And as is Tommy has no longer, I don't think he even is working for Madison County anymore. So Tommy has stepped down and Andrew has been willing to take over, so that's a good thing. Hopefully we'll start sending him emails to give us, quarterly updates on the SIG or whatever. So we should be good with that. Jeff Brock, anything on the lighter SIG?
Yeah, I reached out to the leadership folks on the SIG. I was hoping to have maybe a planning meeting for the July SIG maybe next week. Troy said he's available on the 22nd or 23rd, maybe the 24th too. Rob, I don't know if you'd be, or you or John would have availability next week, or if you want to try to push that back to later, late May or early June.
I'm just generally busy these days.
Okay.
So if you have a time that really works well for you, just let me know and I'll try to squeeze it in.
Okay, I'll get something set. Yeah, we're just in the planning phases for the July meeting. That's all I've got. So.
Okay. Yeah. Does that interface at all with any of the elevation group meetings, for the scoping for the new acquisitions? How does that relate?
We haven't talked about that. No, that's generally August, right? I think mid-August is when Troy and the USGS folks put that on, but maybe it's worth talking to Troy about doing that. I'd like to have it in a different month than the current quarter system we have, because that current month, January, April, July, those are just really busy for me. So
Right. And I'm thinking that, based on what we talked about at the conference, one of the more important things that the group can do is define sort of the requirements for data going forward.
Yep.
Right. So
Oh yeah. So that would work really well because they're going to be speccing out stuff. So.
Exactly. Right. So if the SIG can get together, come to some understanding of what they're looking for in the new rounds of acquisition, then that can be communicated to Troy, and it'd be a really nice pipeline.
Okay.
Thought.
Great stuff, Rob. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, cool. Well, for Nate's report, we'll skip that till we get to the budget discussion, then we'll let you go, Nate, or let you go off on it, everything. So first thing to discuss, we can talk about the election results. I have those here somewhere.
It's also hyperlinked there too there, Mike.
Yeah, I already did it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's down here.
I think it's that next tab over.
Yeah, I got it. It's the thing drops down and then it's in my way, so. All right, so 77 people voted. I guess that's a pretty good turnout. Well, actually, I'll let Jeff go ahead and.
Yeah, this was one of our best turnouts. It kind of puts us on par from kind of pre-pandemic when we were doing SurveyMonkey. So that was good to hear. I think we had 69 or something voted last year. So sent out plenty of reminders, which is a tip there, Mike, to send out probably at least 3 reminders about the ballot, because each reminder I sent out got even more votes. And I did put together some documentation that I'll be finalizing probably in the next week or so, just because the process is a little different, and especially to send out the reminders, it's a bit complicated, just because there's no way like SurveyMonkey to set up like reminder emails. So you kind of have to set up your own little email template, this and that. We can go over that in the future, but yeah, so to get the results, Gail for vice president, she was the only one running. So and we did have the option for folks to basically opt out, abstain. So Nate, it will be our treasurer, so he got reelected. Secretary, Hillary took that vote. It was very close the entire way, but she got the nod by 9 votes. Tessa, for technical committee, she was running unopposed, 95%. And then Rob got reelected, closer than it was 2 years ago, but he had garnered almost 70% of the vote. And then the 2 amendments both passed, which there was less opposition about the Constitution amendments than there was the bylaws, which we did get three against on the bylaw change. So yeah, all in all, very good election, and it's definitely refreshing to get plenty of new folks running. So there'll be three new folks, and the 2 people that got reelected from the current board. So
Yeah, congratulations to Nate and well, unopposed, but Rob as well for winning.
Yeah, hey, make Magip great again.
There you go.
one of these years we're gonna have to talk Craig into running for another position. I think we talked to him a couple years ago, and he has interest in only running for the scholarship and grants chair, so which is understandable.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll invite him to the committee again this year.
Perfect.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah, we definitely need Jeff and I will start either making some contacts or Jeff Hedstrom, are you going to contact them to let them know who won? And
yes, I will contact them
Okay.
probably first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And then the announcement will go out later tomorrow.
Okay,
to
then
both
me and
social
Jeff Sprock,
media. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff Sprock and I will go ahead and get the orientation organized and get that going for hopefully in a couple weeks here. So we get everybody together and go from there. That's excellent. Yes, Jeff, just to go back, we do need to get together and have a little meeting on the side, about the election stuff and some other questions that I have that we just need to talk about.
Yep, not a problem at all.
So, all right, cool. Let's go back to here. Excellent. So we seem to be good with that. All right, so let's just jump into the budget here. Oops, not that thing.
Oh, Mike, we might want to ratify those.
Oh, yeah, my bad. You're right. Yeah, so can I get a motion to ratify these results?
I'll
Yeah,
make a
I'll,
motion. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
I'll make a motion to ratify the election results.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
So anybody opposed? All right, so the election results have been ratified. Thank you, Jeff Hedstrom, for reminding me on that.
Not a problem.
All right. Let's get to the budget here. Nate, did you want to just start jumping into this?
Sure, yeah.
Just let me know if you need me to scroll down or whatever.
Okay, yeah, so hopefully everyone saw the email I sent out a week or two ago with the link to this draft budget. And then also, yeah, thanks for all who filled out what swag you have, so we have an inventory and we can plan for what to purchase next year. And yeah, like what I said in that email, a lot of these expenses remain the same year after year. There's just a few things that changed. And one of the biggest things that's hard to estimate is just the expenses and the revenue that we can bring in from the GeoCon. Just because that is kind of our largest source of income and also expenses. So I guess this is, yeah, the draft for the 2024 budget, and I've showed the 2023 actuals to date in that one column, the third column C, I guess. Yeah, and then the amount remaining next to it. Yeah. And so I guess if we, yeah, I just want to start with income and we can just go through it really quick. But yeah, I just based that off of, in the 2024 proposed, I based the amount of revenue that we might expect off of what we got in 2023. And it's a little bit less, just because I think it might be a little bit tied to the conference and we might have less of an attendance in Billings. But I don't know if that's for certain or not.
No, but I like what you did over here. Well, I mean, comparing, I mean, obviously the last time we were there was 2014, but
Yeah,
it's a good number to start with, you know, anyway.
yeah. And then, yeah, I guess you can also see that chance of success, like 90%. So that is just kind of a, just in case we aren't 100% successful, like we don't reach that mark. It just gives us a little bit of wiggle room, I think, with some of our expenses.
What did we have for Missoula? I mean, we had close to 170, right? Or was it one like 160?
143, I think.
143. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and a lot of that had to do with just coming out of the pandemic. So
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that was this one here. That's the Missoula conference arm.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and then, so that's membership. Does anyone have questions about that? Does that work?
Hey, just I can't see it very well, but in terms of, you know, what we estimated with the change in membership price and that type of stuff, how close do we know at this moment? How close are we to what we estimated?
Yeah, so as you see in the 2023 past, that's 6,630. And so that is estimated off of the price or the revenue without the price increase, because we didn't have that decision made by the time we passed the 2023 budget. But that 10,000 number, that's right in the range of what we did estimate with the price increase.
Okay. So we're a little bit
Yeah.
below what we estimated. Right?
For this year,
Yeah.
yeah, for this year.
Oh, no,
we're-
no, expected, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so for 2023, we made a little over $10,000 in membership dues. And what we expected when we passed the budget last year was around $6,000.
Okay,
So we got more members than we thought we would get?
well, no, we raised the price.
Yeah, we
Oh,
raised
yeah.
the membership dues.
Yeah, yeah, because we passed the budget with the lower rate.
That's right.
And did we get, it looks like we got about the same, the number of members. We got about what we expected. Did we lose
Yeah,
any?
if you go over, yeah, there we go. So in 2022, the membership was 183 members. And this year, when I did the budget, I saw that we had 196 active members and then 18 student members.
Oh, cool. All right.
And that's all attributed to our social media.
Yeah,
Great.
all right, cool.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, good question.
That'd be pretty huge to eclipse 200.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
And if we count student members, we are over 200 members. Yeah, if you scroll to the left, Mike. So for the GeoCon revenue, registration is based off of an estimated 170 attendees in Billings, and then using our current registration cost, which is $245. So
Somewhere here.
yeah, right. And that's if we meet the 170 target number.
Right.
Yeah. And then, yeah, for the raffle, if we do that again in Billings, I kept that same amount as we had from Bozeman. And then also the same with the revenue we got from exhibitors and sponsorships.
Oh, okay. I think I know the breakout difference. So that exhibitor is like the booth only sponsors. Is that what you're accounting for?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the sponsorship then? That's the gold member versus silver and all that?
Yeah, there's gold level and then silver and then platinum.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it'll be good to go over this with you, Nate, because I'm showing a little bit more revenue for those areas. So they may even be, your actuals might even be more after you and I meet.
Okay.
I think your proposed numbers are okay because they might be lower in Billings, but for your actuals, you might see a little bit of difference in there.
Okay.
Would it be nicer just, I mean, unless it's just separated out that way, but wouldn't it be both to combine the exhibitor and sponsorship? Just because we kind of refer to it the same way.
Yeah, Eric or Michelle, do you have a good answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, in the other
that's the way
budget yeah, in the budget that I create, I just put them together.
I mean, that's the way it was passed last year. If you look, there was nothing expected for the 2023 budget, but then you do see them differentiate out in the actuals.
Yeah. And that's because the way it was categorized in Wild Apricot, I think I saw they registered as exhibitors and they weren't gold, silver, or platinum sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole lot of different, I'd probably combine them.
Okay,
And you might just want to put down, under where it says, or in here, just put down sponsorship / exhibitor or something like that.
Yeah, it's just one less thing you have to forecast too.
Yeah.
And if you're able to consolidate that in Wild Apricot, even better.
yeah. Cool. Are there, I guess, I don't know if this is a good place for the conversation, but exhibitor, or if you're a gold sponsor, are there added benefits than if you're just an exhibitor, or is the price less?
Yeah, so the exhibitor, that's in fact something I was gonna, when we meet tomorrow, I was gonna suggest maybe, I mean, we don't get very many exhibitor only registrations. I mean, most people sponsor. So, and it gets a little confusing, I think, to the sponsors. So it's just something you guys might want to consider, is not even having just like a booth only option, like just everybody's a sponsor. Anyway, I just think that would, because of the nature of your conference, 95% of your exhibitors are sponsors. They're kind of the same. So
yeah.
Well,
wasn't that exhibit only kind of introduced at the virtual conference?
I'm not sure. I feel like there's always been some kind of an exhibitor option since I've been with Magip, but I'm not sure. But it just seems like very rarely is there just an, I mean, we only get a couple, maybe 1 or 2 each year that's exhibitor only. So you could just make it a lower level sponsorship,
Yeah. Well, and the benefits are so similar to the bronze too.
Yeah, exactly. So just something for the conference committee and the board to look at.
Okay.
Great. And then, so that's exhibitor and sponsorship. And so those numbers are based on what we made for the conference in Bozeman. And so I don't know if we should expect more or less for that, or the same.
Well, given that the Bozeman one was kind of a record number, I think it'd probably be better to maybe forecast more towards Missoula, which I think was 17, if I'm not 15, 16, 17, I think is a good aim. I'm not sure what this probably is counting for, probably 18 or 19, right there, Nate?
What do you mean by 18 or 19?
Are you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're on to workshops. Never mind.
Oh, I guess, are we good with the estimated amount of revenue for exhibitor or sponsorship?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Keeping that the same, that should be fine.
Okay. All right, and then on to workshops. Yeah, that's just estimated from the 170 attendees for the Billings conference.
Yeah.
So that's, showing a little bit less than what we made in Bozeman.
I guess, is there a reason to maybe shoot for lower than going into last year? I mean, that's quite the difference. I mean, that's almost $2,000 difference.
$2,000 less, yeah.
Yeah, than 2023. I don't know what was passed in 2022, but I would imagine it's probably somewhere is similar to what you're proposing.
I don't recall.
You might just be estimating a little bit lower attendance in Billings is maybe where you.
Yeah, that's true.
Compensate for, yeah.
I would definitely go off the 170 number instead of the 2, whatever happened in Bozeman.
And you have to remember in Bozeman, out of that, almost 250 people that were there, like 40 of them were students.
Sure. No, I would definitely base numbers off of like 170. I think that's a fair number to expect for billings. Hopefully it'd be more, hopefully, but I think that's a good number to start with anyway.
Is that what that kind of that 90% chance of success comes out to, Nate?
No, that's, so the number right next to that, to the left, that's based off of 170 and then 90% of that.
Okay. Well, I just seen your notes that it's based on 200 registrants.
Based on,
Yeah, it is right here.
In your 2024
oh
notes.
shoot, sorry. Yeah, that needs to be changed to 170.
Okay. That's why my wires are crossed a little bit. So
Yeah,
no,
sorry about that.
I think you're good here.
Okay.
You might want to change it up here to 10 too. So.
Okay. And then moving on to GeoCon expenses. And so, yeah, these numbers, I think it would be great to work with Michelle and Eric to estimate these. I don't really know where to start. If
No, that'd be good
I don't
to
know
have
if we
somebody-
have a contract ready for the venue in Billings.
I believe we do, although I
Yeah,
haven't signed anything.
Yeah, we have it. They have a signed copy, and Nate, when you and I meet, I can help you with all these expenses.
Okay, great.
I don't remember signing anything.
I signed it.
Okay. Is
I
that,
signed it on your behalf, Mike, because she really wanted it back. It's been a while ago. And I think, I don't remember why, but I just signed it on your behalf and sent it back to her.
okay, you forged my name?
No, I signed my name
Okay.
on behalf of you. Let me look.
No,
I
that's
have,
fine. Yeah. No, that's fine.
actually, I just signed it. I just electronically signed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was a contract out there, so,
Yeah, it was back in early February.
right.
And the meeting
Yeah.
space, Nate, the meeting space will definitely be more than the grand tree.
Okay,
So I can go over that with you.
great. And yeah, you can see 2023 actuals is empty right now for that section. And I just got the invoice from Michelle, and so I can fill those out and kind of see how we matched up to what we budgeted for.
Cool.
And then for speakers, so yeah, we came in the range. You can see we budgeted 675 for appreciation to give to speakers. Those were the specialty caramels, I believe. And we spent 627 on those. And I was just wondering if that's enough and if we should use the same number for that for next year.
That's hard to say compared to, I mean, I think that's a good number to have. I mean, it's just hard to say what we're gonna decide to do for billings. But if we have it, I mean, it's a good number to start with and try to keep it under.
Yeah, and I think in Helena or in Missoula last year, I think we spent 8. So I think just depends on what you want to do.
Right. I don't think it'd be a problem for us to, take a little bit. I mean, maybe round it up to 700, but I think that's good. And then if we need to adjust it, here or there, I think we could certainly do that.
Okay.
That next line there, Nate, is that because we decided to pay the speaker?
That next one is because last year we only had Eric Pimpler come and do workshops, and then this year also David Howes.
Okay,
Also
that's where
came.
it comes into.
Yeah. Yeah, because David Howes was around $5,000 and then Eric Pimpler was 9,365.
So I guess where does the fee that we paid for the keynote, where does that come into? I guess I thought that was
Yeah, keynote
honorarium.
is also in that fees and honorariums. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We probably should increase that, especially if we pay. I mean, you probably would have came out okay had we not done some of those things, but yeah.
Well, especially if we're gonna have both those guys again, you know, and then
Yeah.
if we have this situation where we need to pay for the keynote, yeah, we definitely need to.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think we've been in a situation to pay a keynote in several years. So it's, you know, it's not uncommon. It's not like we haven't done it before, but it's been several years.
Sure.
And there's different ways of compensating the keynote speaker, right? So on occasion, we've paid for their
Yep.
travel,
Their hotel. Yep.
that type of thing. So there's probably a range in which that can happen.
And I'm assuming that's what the travel line is for, Nate.
I was just looking at that. We didn't pay for his travel because he was in Bozeman.
Right.
I don't remember what that $44.27 is.
That travel line item is probably for staff travel.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have had any in Missoula because I live here,
Right.
or because we live here. So that'll
Would that
be, I'm assuming that's the staff travel, unless you have a separate line item for that.
Yeah, there is a separate traveling.
Yeah, that's down here, right?
Yeah, well, it's under administrative, so up.
Oh, sorry.
Up.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
there.
So that's for Michelle's travel to our quarterly board meetings, and then also the per diem we paid for full scope at the GeoCon.
Is that would as we discussed, like Mike's travel to Helena during the legislative session?
I think that falls down.
Where would
here
that
a little
go?
bit.
Yeah,
BOD
so
travel?
I guess it would be maybe lodging if we paid for a hotel room, or we would maybe create a line item there for traveling cost.
Yeah, okay.
You could just combine them too, like you did with the with admin, just do travel and lodging.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, so if you scroll up, don't remember, okay, so we talked about appreciation, and we're just gonna keep that around the same number, maybe bump that up to 700, and then fees and honorariums. Yeah, it's really soon to think about the next conference, but I don't know, do we want to budget for David Howes and Eric Pimpler, or just one of them?
At the very least, both. Yes, I think so, because from what I heard from Jason, I don't think he's on anymore because he had to go. He did mention that David House was very interested and enjoyed being at our last conference and is very interested in doing another one. So I would definitely, we need a budget for both of them.
I'd agree with that. David hit me up a couple times saying he'd really like to be in Billings, so.
Yeah, a pretty safe number here would probably be 15,000.
Okay.
And that's on the
Then-
low end. That would be good.
Okay.
Because if you don't end up paying the speaker, then it's probably 5,000 less. But if you end up doing all two workshop and paying for a keynote, it covers for all three. So
Yeah.
Are you all voting on this budget today?
No.
no.
Okay. Yeah, because Nate, it might be helpful too as we go through, because you know how, like the conference budget I do is much more broken out, so I
Yeah.
can definitely help you with some of these numbers too, as long as you're not voting on it today.
No,
Yeah,
not this. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, this is usually always like a 2-month process.
Right. No, my,
It's always a good thing to get started on it. May we flush out all the questions. I mean Nate's been through this before, so
Give you plenty of time to work through it, right?
yep.
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my, this is what I'm foreseeing too. Yeah, it's just, this is something that we can all start talking about, start throwing some ideas and stuff into it. Getting your final numbers, Michelle, getting them plugged in there, you and Nate talking and actually getting some more zeroed in numbers. And then the June meeting, we'll have another discussion about it. Hopefully, Nate, you can send something out before the June meeting. We can talk about it. And then we can determine at the June meeting if we're good with it or not. And then if we're not, then we could tweak it a little bit further. But by July, definitely would be the time to vote on whether or not to vote on it. So at the latest July. That's how I foresee it anyway. If that works for you, Nate.
No, yeah, that works great. Yeah, it'd be great to get together with Michelle and flush out some of these numbers so we have a clearer picture of what to expect
Right.
for conference expenses.
Okay, so
So moving on, under GeoCon supplies, merch and perks. And so this was, I just put this line in there from the invoice I got from Full Scope to break out some of the stuff that we spent money on. And so this included the little tote bags and name tags, and then the first beer at Shine Brewery.
So we didn't have a category for that, like for the swag. I mean, I would almost think that would need to go under swag, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah, I mean, we do have a separate budget for swag. And we could put it there. And so, yeah, it's down below, but
Yeah, in the past, you have typically kept your Magip general swag separate
okay,
than the conference swag, but that is something I think you guys were talking about. Since you don't, I think that's because in the past you branded the swag at the conference for the conference, but now it's usually just general Magip logo, so it might be something you want to combine.
right. Yeah, because we kind of underestimated what things were costing here.
yeah.
Hey Nate, I talked to HDR about any swag that Mike may have left, and there is none. So he didn't leave any, he distributed it all before he left. So
Oh, thank you. And so, yeah, I guess we can combine that if that's what we want to do. Combine the GeoCon swag with just the general swag fund.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it being separated out, I guess. I mean, I just had the idea that that's what we had it all as one, but I obviously think that we need to use these numbers for the next, put them over here. Because we kind of underestimated pricing and stuff.
Well, and one thing you have to consider too is swag doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, we might want to call it something different for the conference. I mean, because when you guys think of swag, you're thinking of like your Magip branded pint glasses and those types of things. And for the conference, it's basically like gift items or like,
Yeah, the bag and stuff.
promotional. Yeah, it's like promotional items for each conference attendee.
Right.
So it's kind of a different thing than like general Magip swag, but as of late, you guys, I think, used some of your general Magip swag to use at the conference, but it really kind of is two different things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would definitely recommend jacking these numbers up and use these actual numbers over here.
Yeah, and part of the reason they're so much higher is we had so many more people than we did in
Yeah,
Missoula.
Mhm.
So a lot of those items are per person pricing, you know, and so when you have twice as many people, the price goes up.
right. Did we include SCED into this one or not?
Yes, yep, SCED is included in that line.
As in the supplies, okay.
Yep.
What's SCED up to now? $1,000?
But
Seems like it goes up every year.
$5.99.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's been at $5.99 for a couple years now.
Yeah, you can actually still get it for $2.99. But you can't $2.99 or $3.99, but you can't. The reason we upgraded is because to include the sponsors. With the cheaper version, you can't put any sponsor logos or anything on there.
Hmm.
So that was
yeah.
like the next module up, is to be able to include your sponsors.
No, I think that's important. I think that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so moving on,
Yep.
under operating expenses. The administration line item. So that is pending our renewal of the full scope contract.
Yeah, Michelle, are you gonna be sending that out soon or?
Yes, I will. I'll talk to Michael and Alicia too, because I think this would also be a really good time to kind of evaluate. I was hoping it will be too late to wait till the strategic planning, but Alicia will actually be moved up here to Montana by then. So I thought it would be a great time for her to come to that strategic planning meeting to talk about, you know, her social media efforts. But I just thought this would be a good time too, or maybe at your next board meeting, for you guys just to evaluate how it's going, if there's anything that you'd like to be done differently or that kind of thing. But I don't know that any of that would affect the contract. So, but I can at least send it out for preliminary.
Yeah, if you can. I mean, I'm assuming the fee is just based off of inflation and stuff is gonna go up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we just have, I'll have to look at it, but I think Michael just puts in like it's a 2 or 3% like cost of living increase each
Sure.
year. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if you could send that out.
other than that, it wouldn't change.
Yeah, so yeah, if you could send that out, you know, before the June meeting so we can look at it and we can discuss that, because that's supposed to be, we need to ratify that by June because that's when the contract's up, I believe, so.
Yeah. And as we've done in previous years, I mean, we're not gonna like stop working if we don't have it done, but it would be good to get it done.
Yeah,
I was
Hey,
just trying to
so-
see if it was June 1st or June 30. I can't remember. I'll look at it really quick.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah, I think-
contract starts July 1st.
Yeah, I think it goes through June 30.
yeah.
And so that's also with our communications person. So that will most likely remain the same or a little bit of an increase.
Is that the PIO?
Yeah,
Okay,
I should change the name of that. So that's,
Is that Alicia or someone different?
yeah, that's
so
Alicia.
yeah, that's Alicia, and yes, Nate, I would change the name of that.
Okay.
So accounting, yeah, our accountant had a small price increase this year, up to $400. And so I also increased that by just 5% next year, just in case she decides to raise her price again.
Good idea.
Postage, so yeah, that's just buying stamps and envelopes. Yeah, and I'll keep that around $30. administrative travel lodging. That's, yeah, again, that's full scopes, traveling to quarterly board meetings, and then also the geo conference.
Okay.
Web services, yeah, these don't change much. Software, that's the QuickBooks, that's $30 a month. Conferencing, that's our Zoom subscription. Hosting and domain, that's Wild Apricot. We used to have to go through GoDaddy for the domain, but we're able to do all of that through Wild Apricot now.
Good.
And then, yeah, I guess for all of these, I just added a 5% increase, just in case the costs increase next year. Payment processing, that's, we get a small charge from AffiniPay for each transaction that is made with a credit card.
Hey, Nate,
And
quick
then-
question. Oh, sorry. Just back on the Wild Apricot, do you do a 2-year? Because,
We
that-
do a 1 year, yeah, and
Okay.
it's due every November.
okay, because you know you get a discount if you do 2 years.
Oh, well, we should look into that. Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a huge savings, but I do think it's a few $100s for if you do a 2-year subscription.
Okay,
Anyway, just FYI.
yeah, thank you.
Just
Okay.
tell us this now, huh, Michelle?
I didn't realize it because I don't usually get into the weeds of your operating budget, but now that I'm looking at it, yeah.
And then surveys, that's the survey, Survey Monkey is the 375 amount. And yeah, I guess there's been some ideas about if we want to keep Survey Monkey and go with a subscription with Esri. So I don't know how we want to start that discussion, but
You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea if you guys do want to move forward with purchasing a license for Esri to keep both around for at least 1 year. I mean, you're going to need some time to transition anyway, so. But then you can kind of figure out with Collector, you know, could it serve the same purposes for kind of like what Megan said? Would we be satisfied for using it for a salary survey? So kind of be our way to tinker with it for a year.
So spend $600 to tinker with it.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, Nate, I mean, is it monthly that you guys do it?
Survey Monkey is once a year.
Yeah. Well, and Mike, you're not just getting the Collector with the Esri license. I mean,
Oh, no, I know, you're getting all that stuff.
we essentially had to tag along with Mike for MDT to use for our ability to use for hosting web gallery. So, you know, then it gives us all sorts of options to do, you know, story maps if we want, you know, host our own content, you know, the list goes on and on, you know. It just seems
I
like
know. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer on it. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just throwing out the other side of it too, you know.
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
never used Survey Monkey, but Survey 123, I use that quite a bit for doing surveys after trainings, and it works very well and it's easy to use. So
I have no doubts that, you know, that what you can do with Survey Monkey for the salary survey, you could do it in Collector. I have no doubts. It's just a different mechanism and just a different setup, you know, but I mean, you guys would have to make that decision, you know, obviously, so.
Well, why don't you, Nate, probably, I mean, just throw the number in there, an extra $600 for the Esri one too, just for the time being, and then put a note in there saying that this is the total cost for both of them for the year.
Okay.
Nate, when does the subscription up for Survey Monkey?
Oh, when is that? I can't recall. I think it's in might be in September.
So we might have a couple of months if we decide to
Yeah.
go ahead and we can compare and contrast, and we might just be able to get rid of SurveyMonkey.
Yeah, that's your transition right there. Yep. Yeah, because I mean, I think it is going to be a fairly big haul to export all of those surveys out of there. Because I mean, Nate and I looked into it. As soon as you make the transition, or as soon as you cut the cord on SurveyMonkey, you don't even have read-only access. It just deletes your account entirely. So.
And I guess, yeah, I don't want to play devil's advocate or anything, but we got to also consider like who's going to create story maps and who's going to maintain everything in ArcGIS Online. Because we do see just with Wild Apricot, like it takes a lot of time to upgrade the website. So
That's
is
a
it
great
worth
point, Nate.
is it worth that added effort and cost? And then also, is there the ability to create surveys in Wild Apricot? Like, do we need SurveyMonkey even?
The polling options are very limited in Wild Apricot.
Yeah, I think it's really limited.
You certainly would not be able to do like, if you pick this choice, then these other questions pop up. I mean, you can do all that in Collector, obviously. Yeah, I think it's good for what we do. Polling our board members for what dates are good for retreats, or that sort of thing. But yeah, and obviously our election.
What's the application we use where like you give out several different dates and people have the ability to say this date works for me, this date doesn't?
Oh, is that Doodle poll? Are you thinking
Yeah,
of?
is that part of SurveyMonkey or is that something separate?
It's separate.
Yeah, I think that's either Wild Apricot or Red Doodle thing. Yeah.
Okay, well, I can put in both prices and we can see what our budget comes out to, and we can decide what we want to do.
I like that, Nate. Let's do that and move on here. Yeah.
All right, so Montana annual report, and that's just a $20 fee every March that we file with the Secretary of State. Board of Director travel, and so this is a lot of the costs from our strategic planning event in the fall. And I think Jeff has reached out to a few places to see if these prices will work. And then also some of the food costs include our lunches for the quarterly board meetings. And so I think we raised the food costs just by $250. So.
Is this where we would put the travel for board members to go places?
Yeah, this is where we can put it. Yep, this would be a good place.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
And Mike, you and I talked about expanding, see if we want to expand the strategic planning session to 2 days instead of 1, so that could increase the cost there, Nate, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right.
Especially this year, we were discussing about doing talking about the website
Okay.
and going through the website, and that was going to be like a full day ordeal, basically. But yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, I definitely think I think lodging and travel should be combined. I mean, like it should be like you have up here, or travel, or where was that at?
Yeah, it's under professional services.
Yeah, like that. Sorry.
Okay. And yeah, I guess it's nice to try and keep the categories the same, because this is how it's set up in QuickBooks. And so
Hmm.
when we run a report on previous years, it's easier to compare if we don't constantly change categories.
Oh.
And so I think it's, if we
Okay.
need to, we can add something. But I just want to keep that in mind so we can look in the past too.
No, absolutely. No, that's a good point. Sorry, Nate. I definitely think we gotta move the lodging up more. You know, to cover for because if we're gonna be doing Marls. And then if we're gonna be doing, you know, any other conference, or, I mean, obviously this year is not a legislation year, this next year coming up is not a legislation year, the year after that. We may need to do some more traveling to, you know, sponsor, bills and stuff. Or whatever else may come up.
Yeah.
I certainly think we gotta jack that price up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff, are you guys talking about doing like 2 full nights for the retreat too? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 2 full
Okay.
nights. And we're,
Yeah,
I think we've been talking about weekdays versus weekend, but I think we need to survey the group to see what you all want to do.
okay. Yeah, so that alone will obviously increase your lodging, because instead of just staying 1 night, you're staying 2 at the hotel.
No, exactly right.
Yep.
So I've been looking at places everywhere from like Chico to Jackson Hot Springs, and a lot of those in the fall are, I think they don't have, the ones that don't have bathrooms in them are like $80 to $90 a night, and then if you have a bathroom in there, it's up to $200 a night is what I'm seeing so far. I called 4 or 5 places so far already. There are some that are like really expensive, but that's kind of the range that I'm seeing.
Okay. Great. And then board insurance. And so that is, yeah, that's just a set amount based on our contract with USLI. So that's $710 again for this year. Program expenses. So this is where our awards for GS Day posters are, and posters at the GeoCon, and then grants and scholarships we give, and then swags and meetups. And so right now I just kept the GIS Day awards the same. And then we have the longevity award this year. That's in every other year award we give out at the GeoCon. And in Missoula, we had budgeted $75 for that. And I think we just give out a trophy for that, right, Jeff?
Yeah, some kind of plaque.
Yeah, it's up to 2 awards though.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think we did a special appreciation a couple years ago too, so it still ended up being 2, but.
Oh, okay. So
Do you
yeah,
remember? Do you remember if we under budgeted for that, or that might be one thing to look at. Maybe look at what we spent on the 2 plaques. Just because we changed vendors on that too. We were having a company out of Minnesota do it. Michelle had recommended going through a place in Missoula, and I think that significantly lowered the cost of each plaque.
I think I did look into it, and it was below $75 that we spent in total in Missoula for that.
For both plaques, well, that's okay, that's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Does the poster part include the colloquium that we did?
Yeah, so that has fallen under request for assistance.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I did talk to
fallen
Nate
under
about.
that.
Sorry
Yeah,
there,
it's
Nate.
fallen-
I think I did talk to Nate about this. Instead of approving the request for assistance every year, you guys, I mean, it's well within your right to also budget for it. So.
Yeah, I don't see why we can't throw it into the poster awards.
Yep. Yep.
Awards area here for that.
Yep. Yeah, it's more or less now a recurring cost, and so yeah, it should be part of the budget in my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so maybe, yeah, I'll just move that or increase the amount under posters
Yeah.
for that. And then maybe bump down the assistants by
Yeah.
225 or
Yeah. I
250.
think that'd be good.
Okay. And then student travel. Yeah, we didn't have any requests for that this year. So I don't know if you
Is
want
that
to
to
keep
get
that the
to our
same.
conferences?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember using it in last year's budget either. So I'm
But
not
do you know if the scholarship was used at all?
the band Shellhammer was not used. last
No,
year.
like
No.
the student
Oh.
scholarships,
Yeah,
basically
and
the
so-
conference pays.
Yeah, so just to avoid that exact confusion right there, I think over the course of this year, we need to think about changing the name of that award that we give to students to come to the conference. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right there, Rob. I think that's under geocon expenses anyway. That student travel is probably if you get one of the grant or scholarships, it's basically travel to come to Magip, right?
well, I think what we're doing is in the scholarship award, part of that award package, is the money we give them. And then we also say, you get a complimentary registration to the conference. And if you're 150 miles away, then we'll give you a travel stipend.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that was none of this
that's
year.
how I understood it. It's really a conference waiver. I mean, the one we give out for the conferences that Jenny has been managing in the past.
Right?
It's more of a conference fee waiver. And then there's a travel stipend, which I think those things are a little different than the actual official scholarships that you manage, Rob.
Yep.
Yep, yeah, you're okay.
Okay.
And I imagine since there isn't, well, there is, but not a major university in Billings, we'll get some requests from both of, maybe not Bozeman, but if there is a Missoula scholarship recipient, they'll probably get that 150.
Well, we do have MSUB, so
Yeah, right. And isn't there Rocky Mountain College also?
yep, Rocky's here too. Yep.
Yep. So that'd be cool if we could get some students from there,
Yep.
to participate.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely be reaching out.
Yeah, so should we keep these two amounts the same, the assistance and student travel?
The assistance you could drop because you're gonna put some of that money into the poster,
Okay, yeah.
but the student travel.
That's a lot for student travel,
Yeah,
but
Mhm.
if you put it in there, it'll prevent us from spending it elsewhere. And maybe that's a good thing.
yeah. Yeah, I'd keep it for now. We definitely don't want to raise it or anything, so keep it for now and see where we're at when we get the tools.
If we get tight, maybe we can pull from it.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, moving on to swag. Yeah, so we budgeted $2,000 last year. And spent $1,500. And then if you go over a tab in your browser, we have the Magip swag inventory up top. If you go to the other Excel sheet you have open. I think.
Yep. Hang on, I gotta, this thing dropped down. I gotta get off of it. There we go.
All right, so this is all the swag that was reported that we have. So we have a few table runners and banners, and then some notepads, stickers, and pens that we bought this year. And so if we think we need anything else, we should budget for that for this year.
Well, we
And
just
so
kind of talked.
I
Yeah, you
think
can-
you wanted to get the pint glasses. They're Nate. So
Yeah, didn't we talk about this a little bit in the January meeting? Where we kind of got some ideas where we wanted to start spending some money on the steel pint glasses and maybe, I don't know what else we were talking about, but
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I definitely
yeah, I
think
think
forward with that.
yeah, Nate. I think Nate didn't have enough money for the steel pint glasses. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
they'll
I
probably
would
get ordered
certainly
this year.
factor those prices into the budget so we can get those.
Yeah, I guess I just want to get a sense of, I don't know, or do we expect we'll need any more stickers, pens, notepads?
No, I
In
think
addition to what we have?
I think we're good for now.
Okay. All right, cool. So if you go back, I guess
Yeah,
we can
first of all,
budget-
Jeff, are you good with holding on to all this stuff or are you planning on transferring this over to?
No,
Board?
I'm good. No, I'm good.
All right. Just wanted
No,
to make.
I still plan on doing the Zoom or the YouTube stuff too. So I'll be around.
Oh, okay. Well, that was one of my questions when we have our meetings. So, but
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it then.
yep.
Yeah, so maybe since we do kind of have an inventory, maybe lower that to $1,000 for swag. For general swag, we take to meetups and stuff.
Yep. I like that.
All right, and then meetups, yeah, I think we hit our target pretty much right on $1,500 with Anna's request for 250. I think we're just like $6 short. So I don't know if we expect more meetups this year. If we want to budget more or keep that the same.
I definitely think. I want to say we have to at least budget. We should at least budget for 4 for GIS Day for the 4 cities. At the minimum, and I would almost expect that we may start getting
More.
few more of these meetups, so I would almost bump that up to 2,000 to be honest with you.
Yeah, because I guess off the top of your head, they're Nate. What did that cover for 5 or 6 meetups? It was 6, right?
Oh, yeah, it was probably closer to 6. It was
Yeah.
in that one of the pie charts showed all the meetups.
Yeah. So you figure for GIS Day, 4 of the 6 are going to
Right.
basically, that's 2/3 of the money right there. So
Yeah, I would definitely put 2,000 in that one.
Okay. All right, we're talking a lot about raising expenses, so
Well, we did make a lot of money this year, so
yeah, we'll see how we come out.
right.
One thing I noticed about the meetups, I mean, number one, they're terrific, but I think we're giving out 250.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. It doesn't take 250 to put a meetup together. So we could bring it down to 200 or something of that nature.
We could.
Because what I've seen is like you get in, basically just like throwing tickets around. So I mean, it's nice to get a free ticket for a beverage of your choice, but that's we're adults. You could buy your own beverage, some level.
Yeah,
So-
and maybe we can do something with that when we get those requests. We can say each person gets 1 free drink on Magip. And so when we get the receipt from who's ever hosting, they don't have the $250 limit. They try to give all the way the tickets to. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I've seen happen. It's like everybody's happy and having a good time, and then they're walking around and be like, "Hey, you want a ticket? You want a ticket?"
Yeah.
So, it's great, but if we're tight, I think we can be reasonable with that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep, that is a good point. All right, well, we're running a little late here. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, I can, after our discussion today, I'll plug in some of the numbers we discussed and then talk with Michelle further about some of the expenses we can expect from billings. And then just see where we sit in terms of our balance, and then we can kind of fine tune it from there.
No, I think that's great. That's perfect what we need there, Nate, for sure. So yeah, I think we're right on schedule then basically for what we need to do. Yeah, was there anything else, Nate, that you want to discuss, or?
I don't have anything, just if anyone has questions.
Yeah, any other questions for Nate? I can get back to the budget, I suppose, sorry. Anything else about the budget? Just for now, anyway. I think it'd be good, yeah, to throw some more numbers in there and then send that out again before the June meeting, and then we can have a better discussion about it then at that time. So that sounds good, Nate.
Great.
Okay, just a couple other things before we get out of here. The Earth Science Colloquium, you saw the emails, took a couple pictures of the winners. Again, there's quite a few people there, but a lot of the posters were, Earth Science, geo, how do I want to put it, chronological. It was all about, studying the geology, stuff and the time and stuff in geology. There wasn't a whole lot of GIS stuff to it. Really appreciate Jenny and Curtis for helping out with that, judging. It was well attended. I certainly think that we should continue with it, and they were very happy with us being there. So, but that's all I got on that. For the location for the quarterly meeting, we definitely we think we're basically, I think it'll be, well, I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas for the GeoCon Helena or for the conference for 2025? I think we're down to the consensus that we're going to have it in Helena. Unless somebody else has got some other comments on that. Nothing?
No, I have nothing to add. I think Helena seems like a good spot.
I agree. And like it's been said, it's been a while since it's been there, so it's certainly a good time to go there. With that, I think we can narrow that, and we can just, I don't know if we have to have an action item saying that we approve it or not.
I would just because it's usually a board decision to essentially set the location, and I think that's what we did for Billings around this time last year. Probably actually would, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So if I can get a motion for the 2025 Big Sky GeoCon to be in Helena.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
All right, anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
I'll second.
All right, any all approve, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so moved that we are having it in Helena.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah, go ahead.
we're
Jeff.
scheduled to meet June 20th, next month. Do you
Yep.
think we'd be able to do tours, Michelle? Do you think we'd be able to do some tours of some facilities in Helena like we did for Billings last year?
I would like to do that. Unfortunately, Michelle has stepped off the call.
Okay.
We're running a little late, but yeah, we need to have I would like to have a little run through the hotel that day.
Really, it's only one location, Jeff. I mean, there is the best Great Northern Best Western downtown. But it's usually a little more pricier, and it's not even, I don't think it could meet the criteria. It's smaller than the Grand Tree, so.
But, well, because of the fact we decided to have it in Helena, I do think we should have the quarterly meeting in June on the 20th in Helena, just for that purpose of possibly having a little walkthrough through the hotel afterwards. For anybody or everybody just to come with or be invited to go to. So we're gonna have to start making some phone calls on where in Helena. Nate, is it possible? I know it's kind of late notice. I mean, it's a month, but you think we can have it at where we had it in January?
Yeah, I can see if the room is available.
That would be great.
Yeah. Yep. And June 20th, I'm getting married on June 19th. So I don't know if I'll be able to make June 20th meeting.
Come on, man, we gotta have the budget done by then. Priorities.
Well,
Looks like you might be having it the week before. When do you take off, Nate?
That weekend, June 17th.
Yeah, so sounds like you might have to have it the week before.
Well, all right, well, I'll make that decision then. Are you planning on taking off for an extended amount? Are you going on a honeymoon then?
No. I'm just, I'll be out that entire week, so.
Okay.
well, June 13 works for me. I don't know how it works for everybody else. And I'm not locked into a Tuesday either, but and the 27th is fine too. So
Well, we gotta iron that out quickly here.
yep, we do. And it'd be great to have feedback from everybody here to know what their availability is in June. So,
Yeah, has everybody got any quick thoughts on when they can have the next meeting on the 20th? Or, well, it's supposed to be on the 20th, but now it's gonna be changed to either before or after. Nate, are you gonna be able to do anything beforehand? I mean,
Yeah, the week before, yeah, I'll be available.
would you prefer that than,
Yeah, the week after, I won't be available June 27th. It's the only day that wouldn't work.
okay. All right, I'll send some emails out and we'll try to get it figured out here.
Sorry to throw a wrench in things.
God damn it, check with us first before you get married. What the hell?
Yeah, hey, Nate, one thing I wanted to say is I never went on a honeymoon and it didn't work out so well for me. So you might want to think about taking the time to do that.
Note taken. Yeah.
Just wish they weren't so dang expensive. Ugh.
No kidding. Okay, all right, well, I want to say congratulations to Nate and Rob again and say goodbye to Jeff Hedstrom and Jason, who's already off the line, and Aaron, who I don't know if he came back on.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm here.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank
You
you
bet.
for all your service, and you guys have been great.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with each and every one of you. It's been a very quick 3 years, but it's been a very enjoyable 3 years.
Pandemic and everything, huh, Jeff? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, cool, well, and, okay, well, we'll iron out our next meeting, probably the week before June 20th. I will send out emails and try to get that ironed up with everybody. Nate, if you could find out if that week before is open, that would be wonderful if we could have it there in that same place again.
Okay, yeah, I will look at the schedule.
Okay, I appreciate that, Nate, and I think that's it. Can't think of anything else. Anybody got anything else?
Mike, I was just wondering if I could get together with you on Friday and we could start working on orientation.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Can I get a motion to end the meeting?
All motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Getting a second?
I'll second that. Is Aaron?
Thank you.
bet.
Does anybody want to stay on this meeting? Say aye.
No, thank you.
All right, so it's so moved. Thank you, guys. Thanks again. And
Good
we'll
job as
talk-
president there, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That definitely was not me. It was all everybody else. So thank you. And all right, we'll talk to everybody in June, probably the week before the 20th. So I'll make some phone calls.
I'll be expecting another members letter next couple months from you there, Mike.
Not to you.
To the membership.
Yeah, to the membership, maybe. All right, thanks, guys.
So you guys.
Okay.
See you, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.